Alright, so go to the internet and type in like a painting. Let's say Mona Lisa, for instance, and go to the images and go to Mona Lisa and right click copy Mona Lisa. Then in Illustrator, open up a brand new document and edit paste it in. Take and hold shift and always hold shift. That way you can uniformly scale it into your document without ruining it. And what we're going to do is look at a workflow for this assignment. And I'll give you the assignment in the next video. But for right now, here is my layers. And she lives on that layer. If I make a new layer, I could take this layer, take everything on it, and go into this, my transparency, and lower my transparency down. That way I can see my lines. Okay. Now I'm going to lock that layer and go back to layer 2. I cannot draw anything on layer 1. So in here, what I'm going to do is take the blob tool and kind of look at a workflow for this thing. I want to make a coloring book image out of it. So I'll take the blob tool and then I'll go in here and make sure, blob tool, and make sure my variance on my line is, maybe a 2 to a 3. And sometimes I have to type that one in. A 2 to a 2, that's fine. And then I'll go in here and I'm like, wow, that's a big line. See, check this out. That's a huge line. Okay, now I'm old school comic guy. I collect comics. I love comic books, but I know a line when I see one. And this is not the traditional comic book line that I would say, or a coloring book line for that matter. I mean, that's almost cheap. A kid will never color outside the lines. So here's how this works. The blob tool also works on the fact of scaling of document. Okay, and here's what that means. So in here, if I go, open Navigator up again, and zoom out, this is 8.5 by 11. I started it out 8.5 by 11. I still want it to print 8.5 by 11. But doesn't mean it has to be 8.5 by 11 to print. Because why? Well, I have over here under print my scale to fit media button. Fit to page. And these are vectors. It's not about size. It is only about size when I have to draw them. So what I'm going to do here is edit my document and go to Document Setup and go Edit Artboard. I'm going to hold Shift and make this bigger. And I'm going to make it huge. And see the corner? I have numbers. I'm going to make sure my height, or my Y in this case, is about 36. Okay, about 36. It doesn't really matter because it's still within proportions of 8.5 by 11. Oh, Da Vinci would have loved this lesson. Okay, so in here, let's go to layer 1 and take my artwork here. Oh, my artwork. Whew, boy. Yeah, not even compared. Okay, so let's take this artwork and hold Shift and click and drag it up. And now I can scoosh it around using the arrow tools. Da Vinci would have got the first joke, but the second joke he probably wouldn't have got. So here, I'm going to take and lock this out and now use the blob tool. Don't forget to be on this layer for the blob tool. Whoa, what happened to my lines? Oh, look, they're ultra skinny and all so sexy, okay? So that is how you make the blob tool smaller. The bigger the document, the finer the lines. And if you need it to print, okay, all you do is go to like print and fit to page, and it fits directly to the page. And it's going to fit products like that too. So if I was to make a business card, I wouldn't draw my image at 2 by 3.5. I would draw my image at take and make my 2 by 3.5 document and scale it up. and then draw in it and then shrink it down. That way I get all that rich detail. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is assign you an assignment to do within the classroom.